My name is Shai, Aaron, Benjamin, Shai. My name is Shai. This week's Torah portion, Parsha, is Bhaalotcha. What is it? Bhaalotcha? Bhaalotcha?
No.
Bhaalotcha?
Bhaalotcha.
Bhaalotcha, what does it mean?
When you lift up.
Oh.
No, when you light. Both.
What do you like? Oh. Bhaalotcha.
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 Yeah.
So we know that the name of the Parsha is always very intrinsic, part and parcel, what the thing actually is, Parsha is about. That Bhaalotcha means to light and to lift up, I once heard. That's something I want to think about. Hello, I'm Aaron Benjamin, and welcome to this week's Parsha. I'm here to speak to you for 3 to 4 minutes about this week's Torah portion, Bhaalotcha. So when the Kohanim would go, Kohanim, the priests, the Jewish priests, when they would go to light the candles in the menorah, and menorah, as we said, is not just the 8-pronged thing that we light on Hanukkah. It's actually also any of the lamps as in with fire, because they didn't have light bulbs back in the temple in Yerushalayim. They didn't have that. So, so actually, they would, earlier in the day, they would be prepared and the oil would be filled and there would be the different wicks in it, like the olive oil lamps. Maybe you've seen one, maybe you have one. I recommend them, they're very nice. What happened is that they would go to light them and they would put the fire to them and the other fire, that's how you would light things. You put fire and more fire comes. But what's really nice is that other fire, it actually doesn't diminish the candle that's being lit. And there is a wonderful, fantastic allegory. A mashal, if you will, an allegory. A lesson to be learned. That they would go around not actually lighting on fire, in the sense of fire being taken from their candle, but when they would light the other candles of the menorah, they would light and it would glow. And it's an interesting bit of humility, because I have a lot of humility, is that when you might maybe want to lead by example and not necessarily change people, because just by being near them and being the shining light you are, they become ignited. And the piece of humility to take is just as when you put a candle and things ignite, it was already there, the substance, the real fuel, the real was already there to be lit. And you just are the catalyst to let it go, but it was already there. There is already much greatness in everything around you, and your only job, really, because it comes, yeah. Actually, sometimes when I point, just aside, when I point, I don't point with one finger, I point with my whole hand. So when people say to me, you know when you point, you have 3 fingers pointing back to you, I said, no, that's why I point like this. That's what I do, I point like this. So the thing to know is, just lead by example and know that others are already plenty good. You just do what, not just, but you should, by being the example, being the lights you were meant to be, they will get ignited and they will become the true shining star that they were meant to be. Our generation, if there was a word to sum it up that I once read in a book, it's usually where I read things. Oh, I can read on the internet, but at this time it was a book. It's this thing with paper and like this. Anyway, there was a word to sum up our generation. Whatever. Our generation could be associated with being lackadaisical, underachieving, and a few other, I don't really remember because I just can't be bothered to look it up kind of things. My feeling, I'm speaking for myself because if I don't, then who will? So whatever, like this word whatever, it just seems to roll off the tongue, like whatever you say, like whatever man, like whatever, like whatever. So if you really have something that's worth sharing, and the lesson that I take from these Kohanim, from these priests in the temple, when they understood that when they lit the fire, that this was all about the substance already being there, the fuel already being there in others, and they were just there to lead by example. And another prerequisite, if you wanted to serve in the temple, if you wanted to be one of these special people who are able to light the other candles, there was a prerequisite. That prerequisite is you had to have a mitzvah called Ahavas Yisrael. You had to love, you had to have free love. Loving just because the other person is a Tzelem Elokim. God created them also in their image, whether Jew or Gentile, both have Tzelem Elokim, all are created in the image of God. So if you just love other people from the fact that they're just a creation of God, so if we have positivity to share, that positivity I'm suggesting is not about changing other people. So much goodness in recognizing that everyone was created in the image of God, Jew, Gentile, what have you. That recognition and that positivity that we choose to enact in our own lives, that leadership, that spark, that is what will ignite what is already there. You're not changing them. You're bringing out that light. And to do that, I'm suggesting, is by being the best you can be. And I'm suggesting whoever you are, by the fact that you're a person and you were chosen to exist and are watching my YouTube video, already tells me that you're a pretty great person. Or the fact that you're a person that is existing who's watching my YouTube video, that's already showing me that there's already so much there to be ignited. And if you're interested in bringing out that goodness in others, you should know that you already have that goodness. And I'm hoping and praying even that something in this video is going to help bring out that goodness and remind you, possibly, at best, remind you of that goodness. So that ignites. And maybe you'll just go around tomorrow or today or right now, like right after you watch it, of course. And that goodness will just, it'll just grow and grow. Because I'm an optimist, a real optimist. It's not half full or half empty. It's completely full, half of air and half of water. I'm suggesting go out and be the example of goodness and happiness. And believe me, people are looking for it. This generation of whatever is looking for it. They're desiring it. They want it. And it's not about changing them. It's just about being yourself and that happy self, and it's going to bring out that goodness and positivity in others. Thank you so much, and may you have a blessed week.
Amen.